On this week's episode of GameSpot After Dark, we talk about Platinum's new game they announced and Altered Carbon Season 2. The timestamps are in the description if you want to skip ahead. Thank you for watching. Hello and welcome to episode 30 of GameSpot After Dark. My name is Jake. I'm your host. This week we are joined by Timur.
Hola, how's it going?
Lucy James.
Hi.
And Simon Cardy from the UK/IGN.
Yes, both, in fact. Yes,
IGN UK.
Yeah.
IGN, yeah, it's
I
probably
accidentally
better.
came into the wrong office, but you wouldn't let me leave.
Yeah,
so
you're stuck here now.
Said do a
you're
podcast.
trapped here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're like,
Give us
if
some
you're going to be
content.
here, give us some inside info.
We've kind of talked about this for a while because we were like, what if we just record what us three play while we play like
Yeah.
Apex together?
Yeah,
and
but then we
release
realised that we
then
would be
realised we'd
fully
all-
cancelled.
Yeah,
Yeah,
none of
that's
us would have jobs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We talk some mad spice on there.
Sometimes you post clips of like choice quotes of things that we
And I
said
always
when we
seek
play.
approval, like preview.
Yeah, we have like a published
Is this
feedback.
okay? Well, there was a little while where we were talking about seeing if we could try and get like a crossover podcast going. Do you remember?
Oh, we talked about that when Tam and I were still in the UK. We were like, what if we
pitched
just
like a monthly crossover podcast where we had like IGN UK and GameSpot UK just come together and just chat for a bit, and we both host it, and then that's it. Like it's just to like get rid of that kind of
getting
bring
on
down
off
those
now.
walls?
yeah, bring down the
Yeah.
walls, because people think they hate each other, but actually we very much don't. We're usually
No,
friends.
I hate
Oh,
most of them.
he hate
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I
I
hate most
It's
of them.
different
yeah.
in the US.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
UK.
yeah. In the US, the people are like proper West Side Storying it, but in the UK,
It's because we're so close, you know,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
that rivalry.
yeah, constantly walking past each other's buildings, clicking.
Yeah, except I like almost never walk past their building. Like, I just don't go that far.
No,
It's
it's
very
actually
far.
it takes me longer to get to work if I go up there. And then come
Yeah.
down.
It's nice to be here, though. I listen every week.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I enjoy it.
Good.
I don't do
Ooh.
it. I do it out of choice. I'm not even forced.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Anyway, this is GameSpot's official video game podcast, but a lot of times we don't talk about video games. This week, we are going to go into what we've been playing. Of course, the Chris from Dayton, Ohio segment. We're going to do that with Simon in a bit. And then we have some news stories we're going to get into. And finally, we're going to wrap it up with some listener questions. But let's start with the Chris from Dayton, Ohio 2.2. There's a bit of an update.
I'm very nervous.
There's a bit of an update here that
I really enjoyed. We got
that
this through
Kevin
today.
left us. Yeah.
Oh, so for people who don't know, this was originally by Chris from Dayton, Ohio, but Kevin from West Hartford has updated it.
Yeah, he's given us patch notes. However, he was supposed to do a 2.3 version. However, he was too busy with things. I'll read why he was too busy. So we're going to have to go with the 2.2 versions. Hopefully, we'll get 2.3 one of these days. But, you know, he's got some more important things to deal with right now. Anyway, it reads, After Dark Crew, I regret to inform you that this week's patch will not be published this week in time for your Wednesday recording, as the developer failed the critical listen to last week's podcast certification requirement. In related news, the developer's wife has personally seen to increasing your future listener base by one, with the birth of one healthy baby boy who will reach the prime podcast listener age on schedule. Sorry for any inconveniences this patch delay may have caused. And as always, I'm listening to the podcast feedback for future improvements.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Well,
That's fair enough that you
That's
didn't
fair,
do that.
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm
Yeah.
a little annoyed, but, you know.
You got to make do sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll listen to this week's.
Yeah.
You just didn't listen
Yeah,
to
yeah,
last
last
week.
week.
So
You
you
can
don't
stack
need
them
to be
up.
annoyed.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll
At
be
least
fine.
I think you'll listen to
Yeah,
this
yeah.
week's.
Do you remember the Chris from Dayton, Ohio 2.2 questions?
I don't remember them,
You've
but
got
I
'em.
printed it out
Wow.
because I was like,
Let's
I'm
go.
not going to remember them.
Let's go.
Are you ready?
no. Oh, God. No, but let's do it.
All right.
Go on.
In MMOs, DPS, healer, tank.
DPS.
In Pokemon, grass, fire, or water starter.
Grass.
Because he's a snitch.
I just went Grookey last time. I just
That's
went
fair, that's
most
fair.
recent.
Sonic or Mario.
Mario.
Life is Strange, Walking Dead, Gone Home, or What Remains of Edith Finch.
Edith Finch.
Game that's made you the angriest.
Overwatch. Especially when I'm playing with these two.
Because of the game or because of
Excuse you?
Both.
Okay.
Wow.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a political answer. All right. Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter?
Careful.
Mortal
now.
Kombat.
Wow.
I'm not a fighting game person.
Max Russell here,
That's the
isn't
one
he?
I enjoy slightly
Incredible
more.
scenes.
Halo, Overwatch, Quake, Siege, or Call of Duty?
Oh, Overwatch or Siege?
So, Overwatch is my favourite game of all time. But like the last 6 months, I choose to play Siege over Overwatch.
Interesting.
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
2v2, it's tied.
Created enemies today.
Actually, I think I said Halo for mine anyway.
Yeah, you
you're fine.
did.
You did.
Most desired Smash Ultimate Edition.
Character.
I don't play Smash.
You don't play Smash? Pick any character.
Mega Man.
He's in there.
Oh, I thought you said most desirable. Like, which one do I like the most?
Oh, right.
Bayonetta's in there.
But I like
Samus
Mega
is
Man.
in there. And you said Mega Man.
I desire Mega Man.
Let's go. Let's get Makoto in from Persona. Let's have 2 Persona characters in.
Ooh, that's a good
I
one.
mean, she's sort of in. You can't
She's
play
in the
as her.
background,
She's
yeah,
in
But
the
I want to
hanging
play
out.
as her.
Okay.
I can't believe you didn't ask for, like, I don't know, an Overwatch
Oh,
character.
Diva then. That's
There you go,
Yeah.
Diva. That's a
That's
good
kind of
one.
what I figured. I figured it was an Overwatch character.
Tachanka. Get Tachanka in there.
Or get like Castle from Siege in there.
Who's it? Is it Lionel?
Lionel.
Who's the one from Siege?
Lion?
Lionel Richie. He's not.
Hello.
Hello.
Linear or open world?
Open world.
In FPS games, shotgun, SMG, assault rifle, or sniper rifle?
Assault rifle.
Revolver.
Mm.
Because you play a lot of McCree.
McCree. Yeah, can I have a revolver?
Oh yeah, there's no
2.3.
like pistol revolver.
That
Yeah, well,
counts like a handgun, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah. Co-op, single player, or multiplayer?
Single player.
Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, or Ouya?
PlayStation.
Favorite controller ever?
Oh. Do you know what? I like a DualShock 4. I just like the feel of it. Or the NES controller, because I have a soft spot for that.
Oh.
I think it was Peter's, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Peter's
So,
was the
yeah.
SNES, right?
Mm.
Maybe. I don't know. I listened last week, but
Are you sure?
I forgot.
I was there. I don't remember.
Pop-Tarts or toaster strudel?
Like, can I pick something British?
Yeah, pick something
Yeah.
British.
What's a British equivalent?
A British. You can get Pop Tarts in the UK.
You can
but
get
they're-
Pop Tarts in the UK.
What about a nice toasted crumpet?
Greg's.
Oh yeah, crumpet.
Ooh, a steak.
something
a
from
steak
Greg.
bake.
Let's
Steak
steak
Although
bake.
I prefer
Let's go with
I
that.
prefer the chicken bake.
Just loads of Americans going to be Googling
Steak
Greg's
bake.
steak bake
Yeah,
now.
let's go steak bake.
Well, Kevin, make sure to add steak bake to this. I want Pop-Tarts, toaster strudel,
I'd
or
go
steak
Pop
bake.
Tarts though, because I've never had a toaster strudel.
I
Is it
don't
exactly what
think I've
it
ever
is?
had one.
I've never
either.
had a toaster strudel either.
I've never had one, and I picked a toaster strudel. I
you
picked that
did.
based on the fact that I don't like Pop Tarts that much.
Is it just a toasted apple strudel?
Yeah,
Is
I
exactly
just
what
in my mind, I'm imagining it's like a McDonald's apple pie.
Ooh, burn your mouth off.
hotter
Exactly.
than the sun.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is it cheating if a friend tells you how to beat a part you're stuck on?
No, it's nice. It's friendly.
Is it cheating if you save scum?
No, do what you want. I don't care.
Danny O'Dwyer or Dan Reichert?
I've never met either. But,
Have you not?
I enjoy no clip though, so I'll go.
Okay.
Game on a couch or at a desk?
On my bed. Can I have that?
Well,
I'm just adding
that was
too
that
many.
was in
Bed
last
bed
week
was
too.
I think bed is supposed to be in the
2.3.
update. Yeah.
Couch though.
If Kevin
Definitely not at a
weren't
desk.
if Kevin weren't fathering a child, he'd probably have added that by now.
You hate to see
Yeah,
it.
hate to see it.
Favorite gaming snack?
Maltesers.
Ooh.
I don't know what that is.
Ooh, they're lovely.
I thought you had Maltesers.
I think they are here,
they're
but
like
like
malt balls covered in.
Oh,
you've
okay,
not
yeah.
made it any easier.
a malt
Really?
ball.
Malt ball.
What's
It's
not
sort of
equivalent,
like
is
the
there?
consistency of a honeycomb-ish.
Yeah, it's like a
Kind of.
honeycomb
but it's a
Yeah.
malt.
sphere.
of
Like
Equivalent.
a chocolate covered
Spherical.
malt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
but
yeah,
they're
yeah.
balls.
So like Whoppers here, maybe?
Whoppers are just something else in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a BK Whopper.
Yeah.
Well, we've got that too. Are they Whooper? No, I don't know. I don't know what they're called, but they're the same thing.
a frothing whopper.
Oh,
Look,
it's disgusting.
right? This came up the other day. I saw NVC, the IGN Nintendo podcast, say like, I hear you frothing about NVC 500 because they're doing a live show for the 500th episode, and I was like, do they not know? I know it's the meme from like the Ikaruga review from years and years ago. But like in the UK, you don't say frothing.
Yeah, frothing
like
is-
even if you're talking about milk,
Or, yeah, like
you
a
say
coffee.
I'm frothing milk. You don't just say
Yeah.
frothing because it has different connotations.
I don't even know what frothing milk is.
Frothing at the mouth for it.
No,
It's
you
just
froth.
like
I
gagging
mean,
for it. You
No.
don't,
if the
yeah.
in-betweeners has taught us anything, it's a different kind of.
It's just
Yeah,
the
I'm
bad.
not going to finish this.
It's just a word with bad mouthfeel, and you
It's
shouldn't
got
say
bad.
it.
It's bad connotations,
Connotations,
too. The
bad
in-betweeners
mouthfeel.
has ruined so many innocent
word,
things,
yes,
like
frothing.
briefcases.
Yep.
Yeah. This is the longest this section's ever taken.
Yeah, sorry.
Miyazaki, Kamiya, Sakurai, Miyamoto, Kodaka, or Kojima.
Well, just to keep up tradition, I'm going to say Hashino for Persona. Because that's my favourite.
Kevin, add Hashino,
You gotta add
please.
that too.
There you go.
Is that it?
That is it.
That's it.
That's the
I-
final
I
question.
feel like
That's you in
You
a
passed.
nutshell.
Now we know everything about you
Yeah.
you wish.
in 20 questions.
Yeah.
Oh, is there other stuff that you know
I've
about?
got recordings.
Yeah, we've got
We
many.
also have like mutually assured destruction
Yeah.
in terms of audio.
We all have
It's
about
like, you know, when
30.
Batman has his briefcase full of every Justice League member's weakness.
Oh,
That's
so you
what-
guys have like blackmail for
Yeah,
each
we
other.
have blackmail for each
mutually
other.
assured
A
destruction.
bit
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Senator McCarthy in the Cold
So if one
War.
person goes down, you're all going down.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It's an arms race at that point.
Yeah.
All right.
I
well,
feel- I
You
don't know
cancel
who
one
would
of
be
us, you
worse.
cancel
cancel
all.
all of us.
Yeah. Although sometimes you are mute. One of you. Are you mute?
It's
Sometimes
Lucy.
You're,
Yeah.
No, although
Sneaky
I
about
figured out that, and I haven't done it. So you did post a clip where, because I do this unintentionally, but when we're playing Overwatch, I just talk shit. And I was talking about some absolute nonsense. Some Twitter account had followed me. It was the kind of funny porn one.
oh yeah.
And it was someone, and I was just explaining about this Twitter
So I
account.
got a quad.
Yeah,
kill,
and you
yeah.
got a quad kill. I think it's Widowmaker.
It was Reaper.
Or was
I
it
think.
Reaper?
Yeah, Reaper.
It was on
And
the
I-
pool. I remember it well.
Yeah. Oh no, I was talking about the one on Junkertown.
Oh,
But
I don't
no,
know.
that was
I
the
get-
other one.
get
That was
too
that
many of
guy who
them.
kept sending me naked pictures in my
Oh,
DM. Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
and I was saying like this Twitter account that followed me. Their bio was combining my two favorite things, kind of funny and porn, and I was like, okay. And then I was telling the guys about it, and I unintentionally ruined Cardy's
Just talking about
incredible
kind of
play of the
funny-
game.
Again.
Kind of funny porn
Again.
in the middle of like
no,
a play
it's
of the
kind of
game.
funny and porn.
And
It
porn,
wasn't,
yeah.
you know, they
Not-
weren't
not-
photoshopping faces.
not-
That's
yeah,
never
yeah,
been
yeah.
confirmed.
No, I didn't look too deeply.
No, you wouldn't.
So if
You would
anyone wants
not.
to combine their favorite two passions
No.
like that, go for
No,
it.
it's not the official.
So we won't be streaming anytime soon.
no.
Hey, I streamed Overwatch yesterday with Sam.
Yeah, but not with me.
No, you were.
I'd watch it. I wouldn't tell anyone either. I wouldn't cancel you guys. Someone else might, but
Yes.
We're gonna launch an OnlyFans.
OnlyFans account.
OnlyFans Overwatch
private
is
Twitch
the
stream.
Second time OnlyFans has
Patreon
come up
for
on this
our
podcast.
Apex sessions.
certainly not the
what?
last time.
Hang on. So, TSL. That sounds like a
Yeah, but
transport company.
yeah.
In it.
You C as an ex. No one actually calls me Simon, do they?
I call you Cardy.
Yeah.
Hang on. So
TCL.
TLC.
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 Oh,
There we go.
there it is.
Hey.
Done. I'm glad
Coming
we
to a
finally
Patreon
got
near
that. Please buy it.
There we go.
Some more. What have you been playing this week?
So, I have been playing a game for review. It's called Granblue Fantasy Versus. I can't say
Japanese fighting game. by
it
any
is
chance?
indeed.
Okay.
It is very much indeed. I can't say too much about it. I don't want to say too much about it. The preview embargo has lifted for it. Review embargo is coming later on down the line soon. But I will say that it's an interesting fighting game because it's made by Arc System Works, who have done the Dragon Ball Fighters fighting game and also Persona 4 Arena. So they're very good at taking other people's properties and making them into amazing fighting games. And Granblue Fantasy is a incredibly popular mobile game. It's like a turn-based RPG with gacha mechanics, like the crane game style mechanics in Japan. Outside of Japan, no one knows. So it's like an interesting fighting game in terms of it has the clout to kind of just muscle in on a genre that's usually takes years and years and years of dedicated like entries to really make a name for yourself. But fundamentals are really, really interesting. It's like, unlike a game Arc System Works would usually make, they make anime fighters, which if you've seen Dragon Ball, you probably are familiar with, like very moving around quickly in the air and doing insane stuff. This is like scaled back into like a classic Capcom style fighting game. So I've been playing a bunch of that for review, and the big one of the big draws of it is it's got like a fully fledged RPG story mode.
So what score are you giving it?
You wish.
Trying to get-
Yeah, Saint
Trying to get
IGN, mate. Saint IGN, we don't make mistakes like that here. I don't know if they made that mistake. I'm just being combative for no reason.
This is their first game since Dragon Ball Z Fighters, right?
I'm gonna say yes. They put out so many games now, fighting games, that I've lost track of them. But I'm pretty sure this is the first one since Fighter Z. Yeah. But yeah, I'm playing a lot of that right now. I think I've played enough to start writing my review, so I'm probably going to do that today after we go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, yeah, to celebrate your birthday.
Let's celebrate my birthday. Yeah. So yeah, that's been a fun game. Another game I've been playing is Kunai, which is kind of like this side-scrolling. It's a Metroidvania game.
I can only hear that in the Liverpudlian kid from Disco Elysium.
Kunai. Does Kunai care? He does.
I like the self-censor there.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
I got the K in. If you listen real close, you can hear the K at the end. But yeah, it's a Metroidvania game, and I don't know. It's kind of really easy to play. It doesn't so far. It's not like remarkable in any way. Like it's not doing anything really distinct. I mean, it has one key hook, but in all other regards, it's a fairly standard, straightforward Metroidvania. I think the thing that I like about it is it's really easy to play, and it's got like a sense of inertia and momentum to it. The main mechanic is you have two kunai, kunai, and they're like mapped to shoulder buttons, and you almost use them as Spider-Man would. So when you fire them out, they kind of create a rope which you swing from. So you're moving around the environment quicker than you would in most Metroidvania games. It feels more like later game Metroid, where you've got like the various like I think it's Spark Jump, where you like can move around very easily, and like the shoulder dash and move kind of like do the aerial jump off the shoulder dash. So it's got that kind of like inertia and momentum based gameplay, and it's like the characters are like the main character is just like a TV screen with a face on it.
What, like from Saga? Jesus.
Yeah, Saga, but kind of like, but it's like got a cape as well. But it's like what I like about it is like it's very emotive when you're playing. Like when you're running across the screen, it looks slightly like suspicious of what's going on, and when you start attacking an enemy with your like kunai, it's got like kind of like a Shovel Knight mechanic where you can do like a shovel drop bounce attack on them, but like when you're doing it, it looks a bit angry, and it's like doing that kind of stuff. And when it's swinging, it looks kind of happy, and you can see, because it's so big, you can see his face constantly, and it's just like a weird little character moving around and having fun. And it's got like a futuristic vibe to it, where like the shop is like you can only use the shop if you're close to a router or whatever.
What the hell?
What's going on?
I just QA'd a video from Dave Jewett in the UK, and he says mobile in it.
What's going on?
And I left a comment. I was like, "What is this? You've just said router."
What's going on, mate?
I localized it.
People give me shit.
I
for
localized
my
it
accent.
for the
I'm
audience.
very disappointed because we have quite similar.
Yeah,
Like probably in like
it's
20
router.
minutes away.
It's router,
Yeah, I
but
don't know what
like
you're doing there.
there's a connotation for router that I won't get into in East London, which I don't know. And
Oh no! Is in like give her a good route in.
yes,
Yeah.
I tried to stay away from that version
but you
of it
went
as
there.
much as possible.
I feel like if ever anyone's gonna be the person to go there, it will be me.
What?
Again, the Overwatch clips. They
The
say
Overwatch
that,
clip.
yeah.
As in, take a conversation
And
yeah.
I mean, yeah. So like, it is router, but router's got a bad mouthfeel as well.
Oh,
so
sorry,
like,
I shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Evan's not back there. We
Oh,
learned
Evan's
this.
not there,
We
yeah.
learned
Oh,
this last week. Evan's misophonia is like off the charts. So whenever we record, like I'm usually hanging out with him and chilling out to help him, and like we talked about this in the back while it was happening. Every time we do the can into the mic thing, it like destroys his world.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I
yes.
love that. It's a
So-
great
I
sound.
know. So
It's a great ongoing gag for us and a great sound
If
for
you
some
want to know
people.
how weird my mind is when you say the word Ruta, I instantly think of Ruta Melatite, the Lithuanian gold medal winner in swimming at the London 2012 Olympics. Only decided to make a video about her about 5 years ago in my old job.
wow.
That is
There
ridiculous.
you go.
So yeah, one, don't know what he's on. Two, we need to stop doing that thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
and three, just in case you haven't heard old episodes, misophonia is the hatred of sounds.
Mouth
So
noises.
Mouth noises.
Yeah.
Peter was bringing up that it's repetitive noises too. So like, and it could be repetitive sights like a foot tap or
That was always one of those. I didn't know if that word was people made it up because misophone. It sounds like it. Sounds
yeah,
like
it sounds like
and it
fake.
genuinely is that.
Yeah.
So there you go.
My one is breathing. And it's so
You hate
like
breathing.
if I can
Yeah,
hear
people have to do that, you know?
no, mine, if I can hear breathing, it's so Andy Cortez over at Kinda Funny is playing Bloodborne currently. And like I'm currently his like Bloodborne guide in some like whenever he has an issue.
You're his game fac.
Yeah, I'm his game fac. And like he'll send me a message and be like, I'm looking for this thing or I need help with this thing. Usually he's great at games, so he's doing perfectly fine without me, but occasionally it's easy to get lost in that game. And yesterday it was like, oh, I'm looking for this boss because one of the bosses, the Shadow of Yharnam, they're in like the Forbidden Woods and you can get lost if you get killed and don't open a shortcut. So he was like, I can't find them again. I was like, all right, I'll record a video. And then I recorded the video of me doing it, and it's just like, it's me holding the phone up to the screen to just take a video of it. And then I was watching it back and I could hear myself breathing and it like set it off. And I was like, oh crap.
You can send it muted. So here's a weird thing. I don't want to call you out here, but I sit next to you. We go to the cinema once a week. We both have AMC A-list.
You have such mad lives. What do you mean you live such crazy lives?
I know.
Go to the cinema once a week.
Out here in San Francisco,
I know.
going to the
Hey.
cinemas once a week.
Weed's legal, cinema once a week. It's the
Drinking
American
beer
dream.
at work.
Yeah. Oh.
Your beard is really loud.
Yeah, and I have an annoying like habit of scratching my beard
You're
at
doing it right
times,
now.
and I
can't hear it.
I
But
pick
when we
it.
go to the cinema, it's a
Yeah,
quiet
I always
bit
have
of
to
the film.
remind myself to stop. And that usually is a good sign that I'm bored.
Wait, I'm trying to think. What film did I go see with you and you were doing that?
It was Knives Out.
Oh yeah. No.
See,
that
like,
was
did you
fun.
hear it during what do you call it? 1917.
No, because 1917.
Firstly, it's loud.
I was very stressed the whole film.
Exactly.
And also Zach.
There
was
was
in the middle of us, so it was
someone in
fine.
the middle of us. But like, it's when I'm bored, I just like start like twiddling my thumbs and
You've
scratching
revealed
my
your
You
beard.
do that a lot
face
when
now.
I start speaking. Which
Yeah.
says
It's
a
funny
lot.
that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the thing I've noticed is people with cheap headsets online, you can hear them breathing more than if they've got nicer headsets.
Yeah.
And that drives me crazy. And I know, and I'm super I've got a pretty nice headset, but I'm still like very self-conscious that other people can hear me breathing while I'm playing because I hate the sound of it so much.
Yeah.
Well, when we play, if I'm really relaxed, I always say I'm going horizontal. Like when we play, I just slowly, because we play in bed. That sounds so wrong. Listen, I need to quickly pivot and tangent, but I was talking to someone, sending them a message, and I tried to say I've got to run, and instead I said I've got to rub. So I was just like, I'm just gonna delete myself now. This is no. Anyway, so whenever we're playing Overwatch and I'm lying in bed, I sort of slowly just slide down and I'm fully horizontal, but it means that my mic is like here and right underneath where I breathe out of my nose, and I don't realize it until one of these two
go.
go
You're horizontal.
yeah. Or, it's like, what's the weather forecast?
Yeah.
Because it's just
Who's standing in the wind tunnel?
yeah, it's
It's
me.
just like, but yeah. So
Sorry, you're playing.
anyways, in
Kunai.
Kunai, if you want Kunai,
In review.
Is that on the Switch?
it is on a Switch. Yeah. So if you want to kind of buy upgrades, you need to be close to a router. And you get like a little Wi-Fi symbols and everything like that. And it's got like a futuristic technology has kind of like been part of the post-apocalypse, and weird stuff is happening. It's light on story so far, but I don't think it's one of those games where I don't think I'm going to play it all the way through. But right now I'm having a really good time just jumping in and out and having like going from point to point, really easy to move about. And it's like got a charm to it. It's got like this almost like classic aesthetic. It reminds me a lot of Yoshi's Island, where you know how Yoshi's Island has like, it's colorful, but it's also like slightly washed out. Like it's got a white overlay to it almost. It's got that kind of vibe to it. So I'm having a good time playing that.
I'm happy that you're having a good time.
Yeah. And then actually Lucy's got this as her thing, so I'll let her talk about that.
Oh
then.
wow,
That's a lovely
that's a
segue.
lovely segue.
Oh.
So might remember 2017, Tam and I did a bunch of videos about Altered Carbon.
Which I keep calling binary domain.
Yeah.
It's just they have the same thing in my head.
So we've been watching season 2. The review's coming out early next week. It goes up on Netflix today. It's not as good as season 1 by a very.
I didn't even think
very
season 1 was that
long
great.
Yeah,
way.
I could not get through season 1, and I really like Cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah.
Like read, what did I read last year? Neuromancer, which I thought was great. And like I was getting into that and I was like, all right, I'm finally going to give Altered Carbon another chance. And I was like, I just don't think this is...
The problem for me was it came out, it felt like a week after like Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah,
it was
came out
very
around the
soon
same
after,
time.
and I was like, nothing's going to
wonder-
compare to that for a while, Cyberpunk-wise.
I was going to say, there are... Yeah, I think it did come out at the same time as Blade Runner. And then season 2, I feel like it would have hit the same time as, or close enough to Cyberpunk's launch date if they'd
One of my
moved.
main problems with season 1 was Joel Kinnaman. I know you...
So I
like
prefer him to Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, I prefer now. Like,
because Anthony Mackie, I just feel like he's on the verge of doing a quip, and it doesn't fit
I
that.
do find him very hit or miss as an actor.
Guess you'd never miss, huh? It's a TikTok
exactly.
joke. Anyway, so Altered Carbon set in the distant future where humanity can essentially be your consciousness can be put on a sort of USB stick that goes in the back of your neck called a stack. And your bodies are called sleeves. You can get an organic sleeve or you can get a synthetic sleeve. And the rich it explores a load of really cool themes. So if you're really rich, you can have constant backups of your stack. And if your sleeve dies, then you can just go straight into a clone body and then you can basically live forever. And the longer you live, the more out of touch you become with your own humanity. Whereas on the flip side, the poor are really struggling. It's an awful world for them. They have all these AI, and AI is so advanced that AI is more human than humanity because AI is built to help, whereas humans are becoming dissociated with everything. And there are some really cool concepts in there. Like in season 1, they had this amazing episode where the main character gets tortured in VR. But because of the training that he's had, the specialist training, he can sort of combat the VR constructs. There's all this kind of cool stuff. There's really messed up things that they do with
it's like religion and
like religion neo-C, which is if you're a Catholic, you don't believe in being spun back up, put in a new body or anything. So once you die, you die, and they play into that. And there's a really cool mystery in the first season. And then there's this whole other revolutionary sect called the Kellists, who believe that death should be final and that humanity is losing something because they can't die and they don't fear death, and so they want to get rid of stacks and just take humanity back to where it was. Season 1, a really cool, dense sci-fi, really super dark, messed up, violent, bloody. I really, really liked it. Season 2 focuses on a love story that doesn't feel earned because of the way that it's portrayed in the first season, and then you come back to it in season 2 and you revisit these characters and you're like, I just don't care. There's some really cool stuff that they're doing with a war. There's all this they mention at the end of season 1, there's like another race that lived on these planets thousands and hundreds of thousands of years ago. There's stuff to do with that. There's all this cool tech. There's still all the weird stuff that people are doing and awful ways that people are treating each other. The super rich are called Meths, the Methuselah, like the people who don't die. And in season 1, they are just so like beautiful but awful, and you love to hate them. And then in season 2, they're just relegated. There's only really
it's like
one or
three,
two who play any major role.
Is Edgar Allan Poe back?
Yeah. He is.
I quite enjoyed him.
Poe is great.
Poe's
He's
great.
back, but he does the exact same thing as he did in season 1. Like, and there were some really frustrating bits. And I was texting Mike Rougeau, our entertainment editor over on GameSpot Universe, and it was just like a bunch of question marks. Like, how have they done this? There is a line in that show in season 2 where it says, "We don't have any weapons. We are the weapons."
And there's
And honestly,
sick. I love that kind of
absolute
stuff.
weapon.
I just was like,
there's multiple lines that
There's
are worse.
another
I've got a list.
one.
All my notes are bad lines.
We've got to change. We've got to alter
you
our
should
carbon.
You should read it one of these days.
Wait, let's.
have you?
I've got
So-
like notes,
So
and it's like
the season 1 was based on the book Altered Carbon.
Yes.
Is season 2 based on like another
So
book in the book series, or were they just like, yeah, it was good, let's just try to do another one?
There's 3 books, and Altered Carbon season 2 is based on. There are characters from the second book, and then it's mostly the storyline from the third book.
Yeah.
But the main problem not problem, because you understand why they had to do it when they were making the changes of season 1, is the character of Kelchrist Falconer, who is the leader of these revolutionaries who don't believe in immortality. They make her the love interest to Takeshi Kovacs, who's Joel Kinnaman /
Does he have
Anthony
a
Mackie.
castle yet?
Castle?
Takeshi?
No.
God.
Stop.
No. And like just the way that relationship changes, like, because I read the book and I didn't really particularly enjoy the book. I thought it was quite.
It's got some great ways.
I mean, he
describing...
calls women's breasts globes.
Oh, I think
More
I remember
than
you talking
once?
about that.
Yeah,
And
wasn't
I
it
was
like
like-
there's something? There's something else. Like, it's not just globes. It's like luscious globes
don't
or
remember.
something.
It's
When,
like
when
that.
was it
Something-
written?
2000, like early 2000s.
Okay.
Isn't the author?
Because even like
Richard K. Morgan.
he's a wrong, isn't he?
I don't know.
even like Neuromancer, which was written. When was that written? I don't know. A while ago, but
Yeah.
I feel like male writers have some interesting ways to describe a female's bodies.
It's a bit.
It's globes,
it gets a
mate.
bit. My
Globes
dad my dad wrote a porno at some time. Anyway, so season 2.
It's not good.
I love that world so much because I
Yeah.
think the world is the most interesting part, and the main detraction from season 2 is that they just don't focus on it at all, and they make it about this relationship, and they add another secondary female character in who's badass, and I just want to see more of who actually looks like the default Cyberpunk character because she's got these cool coils. in
Oh
her
yeah,
hair.
I know who you're talking about.
Trep, and
Trep.
I loved her
Yeah.
character, but
Played Misty Knight in Luke Cage.
she did.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I was disappointed.
From what I remember of season 1, which to be fair I don't remember a lot, but I did like the setting. I really like the themes. The characters I didn't find that interesting. The plots I didn't find super interesting, but the world itself I really liked.
Yeah.
Like it's but I just love cyberpunk worlds too. It's why I'm excited for Cyberpunk 2077. It's why I love Blade Runner 2049 and Blade Runner. But for some reason it just didn't grab me.
That is what's missing from this. It's like someone went to Netflix was like, cut the world building stuff, just focus, make it action packed.
Well, the showrunner from season 1's gone.
Yeah.
So later Calagridis was showrunner in season 1, wrote a bunch of the episodes, has an executive producer credit for season 2, but she's the one who worked for years to get it made in the first place. But now I think there's rumors that she's attached to the Old Republic, or Knights of the Old Republic. I forget which one.
Yeah, one of those. I think
so. She's it definitely feels like a change in.
There's one line where someone asks Anthony Mackie's character Takeshi, "Have you heard about the Circle?" Which is like this arena, basically.
A cool.
And he replies, "No, but I'm guessing it's round." You're like, oh.
I was about to joke that was.
Yeah, I
the
did
line.
this. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, guessing
And
it's
like
round.
that's where you're like, okay,
Yeah.
this is
It's-
like the lowest common denominator, like
I don't know,
bottom of the
man.
barrel
Like,
writing.
Greg and Jen were watching Aquaman the other day. If you want to talk about lowest common denominator humor, I just want to be in a writer's room where someone's making a superhero movie, and every time they feel the urge to write a Marvel-esque quip that's not as well. Like, I'm not saying this, I'm not a Marvel fangirl. I like Marvel. I like DC a lot. Batman's my favorite. But if you decide to put in a quip for the sake of doing a quip that's not actually funny, just
Cut it.
stop it.
Nix it.
Stop it.
That would be a pretty cool role. Like just
The
like
anti-quip.
just someone who just says no to things, you know? Like I've thought about that because I feel like every Call of Duty game I play, there's things in that game where it's like, why would you add this? Is this stupid? Like in the new one, you can turn into a juggernaut in multiplayer and it's completely unbalanced and it's bullshit. And it's just like, someone just needs to be there to just be like, no, that's stupid. We can't do that.
I am offering my services to be that person. I love being that person.
Yeah. Just telling people no.
Yeah.
That's basically what I do through
You just
editing.
shut down dreams.
That's what editing is
Speaking of
for.
dreams.
Speaking of
I'm doing my own
dreams,
segues.
look at this.
There we go.
I mean,
Have you actually been playing Dreams? I mean, I know you reviewed it.
Well, yeah. Well, I did. Yeah, I reviewed it. I did play it. Yeah.
not for GameSpot though, so people don't
No,
get
no,
confused.
No. I reviewed it for IGN, but I haven't played it for about a week or two now, just because it was my life for
Yeah,
a few weeks. Yeah.
So I played it when it came out, but I wasn't on last week, so I don't get to talk about it.
Go for it.
It's $40. Last
Yeah.
week, everyone kept saying it was $60.
Oh,
Yeah, it's only 40.
correction.
And I was screaming while listening. I was screaming on the plane.
Oh,
$29.99.
Oh.
There you go.
But no, I mean, I enjoyed what I played of it. Like, I played through the story, which I thought was very good. It was a little bit basic, I would say, like or the media molecule created story. It like had a lot of cool, neat ideas, like how you jump between different like genres, essentially. Like you do point and click adventure, then you do third person action game, and then you're doing like an over the a twin stick shooter sort of style game. So like that was pretty neat. They're all pretty basic though, I would say. Like obviously none of them get super deep.
It's not a challenge, but it does. I think it does a great job of showing what is possible.
Totally.
Especially like the last half an hour, it goes a bit insane. And you're just sat there thinking, how have they? Like any other game, you're thinking, yeah, you've had the time to make that, but if you've had time to actually build stuff in Dreams, and then you go to that, you're like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
I know they are professional game developers. That probably helps. I'm not.
Probably.
Could be.
Yeah.
I was watching our like Jess and Ed did like a horror let's play of Dreams, just horror Dreams games, and in between loading screens, the little imp would flash for a second, and that was always very funny because it was just like these like dark like PT recreations or whatever, and then load, and you just see the little imp sitting there for a second. But yeah, I mean, all I've done pretty much in that game was play through the story and then just dream surf a little bit. Found a lot of memes and stuff like that.
Nice.
I feel like I haven't played any games that are like really cool so far, other than the fact that you know it's still impressive that people did this. But like I don't know, one of the first things I loaded into is just Fat Yoshi with the Halo music playing, just sitting there. And I was like, all right, I can get on board with this.
This week I found someone's done a Simpsons Hit and Run remake.
Yes.
And it's like the first little opening scene of the game, and then you can control each of the family members and just go around the house in that area a little bit. But a couple of bits that make it particularly excellent. A, it's all Spanish language Simpsons.
Oh, hell yeah.
And B, Maggie is the star because not only does she have a gun that you can fire, but she can ride Santa's little helper. And when you do that, it plays the Sopranos theme tune. So that's the power of dreams.
Have you ever seen any Spanish Simpsons?
Yeah, I've played it.
I mean, other than playing it, no. I just remember.
I did French because in French at school they played like an episode of French.
Oh yeah. We used to do that, but then I always remember the you know, the nerd. The Spanish version of that is nerd. I found it online once. I don't know if it's the official one or if just someone made it as a joke, but I was like, I really enjoyed that.
One of the interesting things I did find on Dreams though was a podcast. Someone's doing Dreams podcast, and there was like episode 30. So they'd already done like a lot leading up. I don't know if it was 30. I just said 30 because we're on 30, but they'd already done a lot leading up to it. And then it was like the day it came out, and I'm scrolling through, and it's like a 43-minute podcast on Dreams. I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Unexpected things. I found, I think it was Northumbria University. Made basically a careers fair inside Dreams, and you could walk around it, and there'd be links on the websites to like, do you want to join the local police?
I thought you were about to say someone made Northumbria University.
They basically, I don't know what it looks like, but they made a building. It could have looked like it.
Who's doing this?
I applied. Here's my Dreams application.
I think they are known for having a games development.
They are because Ubisoft is up.
Oh yeah.
Well, they used to be in the center of town in Newcastle, but now they are in I think they're in Shield. No, they're in Teesside. My accent's come out, I know. They used to share a building with one of the biggest solicitors firms in Newcastle, behind the post office next to Central Station. I know that because I used to have to deliver post to the solicitor's office.
Good Newcastle facts.
Yeah. Good. I mean,
big facts. Anyway, there is a big game development
Newcastle
student scene up in Northumbria.
Yeah. But Dreams, it's. I feel like I've spoken about it a lot.
Are you gonna make something?
What else have you played that's no Dreams, Ed?
What else have I played? I thought it was Jake's turn. I feel
it
like
is
my turn. It is your turn.
But I only had Dreams. But I guess
I'm bringing the conversation.
Just trying to segue. The Outsider. The Outsider.
I haven't seen the latest episode.
Okay, then we won't talk about it.
I was waiting for this lad before we were watching it.
Yeah, we're gonna do that tonight.
We're gonna hold hands and watch it.
It'll be fun.
I mean, for context, that Cardy's staying at Tams.
Yeah.
And then you're staying on my couch on Friday.
I've got all the stuff I brought from the UK for you in a bag over there.
Yeah?
2 bags of Bombay mix.
Yes.
I felt like an absolute weirdo.
You've got so much chocolate.
Because I asked you for a lot of chocolate, but then I asked you for a can of hairspray because you can't get it here. It's really good. San Francisco weather messes with my hair.
My mum had a 20% off voucher for that exact hairspray.
Pass your regards on to your mother for me.
Do you think it's the humidity?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I have very fine hair anyway. Not as in fine, as in like thin.
You also live closer to the beach too, right?
Yeah.
So,
just get away from
head to the
beach,
East Bay like the rest of us.
I
dry
like
there.
when I never used to have thin hair. And then I got hair, and now my hair has thinned out. Like I notoriously had thick hair. Like growing up, people were like, "Why is your hair so thick?" And like is now since I've got hair, it's like thinned out to the point where still kind of having a midlife crisis about whether I'm going bald. Like I was like, am I
Gotta get on that road
I
game.
don't think you are. No.
I don't think you're on board.
No.
Mate, I mean, I have had alopecia, stress-induced alopecia before. If you want to talk about like stress about losing your hair, I went to the hairdresser once, and she was like, "What are you doing about this?" And I went, "What do you mean this?" And she just like turned me around in the chair and handed me a mirror. It was like a massive patch had gone. I was like, "Oh my god."
That happened, not that level, but like I was in the shower once, and I like put my hand through my hair, and like just a massive clumps of it were coming out. And I was like, "What?" Jeez. And then I looked down, and it was just like hair. I was like, "Oh my god, what is happening?" And like that's when I was like, and then we went to Japan, and it wouldn't stop raining.
Yeah.
And like,
so you were shedding.
So like basically my hair was falling out, and every mirror I looked in, I could see my scalp.
You're actually living the grudge.
Yeah.
But no,
So,
it's
like,
scary
I was
because
like-
when you run your hand through your hair and stuff comes out, and you're like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
this is-
Then when it stops, like my alopecia has stopped, I don't trust it anymore. Like I'll run my hand through my hair, and if I see a hair, I'm like,
Yeah.
was that what it's like before?
No, is that
Or
normal?
is this just my
Yeah.
life now?
Yeah, exactly. So like it happens to me all the time. Like I'll look down at a sink and see like 3 or 4 hairs in there, and I'm like, is that more or less than usual? And then like,
But no, Alana
in-
posted a couple days ago that Alana Pierce posted that she got eczema from stress. And it was like other people were replying about all the weird things that their bodies do when they go into stress. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, that coupled with like the atmosphere and the humidity here is not good for good for high quality British hair.
Like
what I'm
LA,
saying.
mate. The LA weather and then the LA water. It makes my hair look
Dreams
fantastic.
is the perfect anti-stress game, though.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Just gonna
do a
make
little bit of-
I'm gonna
do a
make a
little bit of
character
painting.
with loads of good
I
hair.
just really enjoy painting in that game.
It's good.
Yeah. There's a real, like, I told the story on Podcast Beyond this week on IGN.com, but
Unbelievable.
like there's a real like unique thrill when something you've created is used by someone else.
I've seen you talk
Here comes the
about
cheese story.
No, but I made a soccer ball. But it's really
Thank
bad.
you for the localization.
It's really bad. Like the main problem with it is that it isn't round. Because there's like indentations where I've tried to put in hexagons and it doesn't roll. But it's been used by 6 people. And do you
think they've immediately deleted it?
it's still there.
Yeah.
Like, but half of them, as you expect, were soccer, football games.
Yeah.
But one was really sweet. It was just called My Brother's Bedroom, and someone had turned it into a light, like a lampshade, and it glows in the room. Okay.
That's very sweet.
That's wholesome.
What else? What other creations have you made?
Tell us about the cheese.
I made a cheese.
I told the
made
cheese.
into it. So I thought that was just a little game that no one would ever play. It was on Media Molecule's stream last week, so my cheese has been on their
Really?
stream.
That's
I have
disgusting.
streamable cheese.
Get your cheese off other people's streams.
And I painted a lovely pink flower that someone used. I had to try all these things out for the review.
No, you were just doing it.
Yeah.
You can read
good
GameSpot's
time.
review of Dreams on GameSpot.com, written by Richard Wakeling.
What did you give it?
Gave it a 9.
So did I. There we go.
You can also watch a video review on youtube.com/GameSpot.
Or you can watch mine.
No, don't do that.
Do both. They're both good.
The one thing I will say about The Outsider, which has already been said, but I'm just here to
we are just
reaffirm,
like on some insane tangent. I
I know.
forgot you mentioned The
This
Outsider.
is my fault.
is that it
I
is
feel like
2
The
episodes
Outsider.
too long. They could probably cut some of that out. Like at the beginning of this episode, they
Yeah.
get into a car, and there's just I was like, oh no, not another car episode, please. Fortunately, it's not all car.
Yeah.
But there's a significant amount of this episode where people are in cars driving somewhere,
So
and it's
I
like,
want to
that's not good television. Like, I don't want an episode of someone in a car.
No.
shout out, what's her name? One of the characters, the lady who's doing the paranormal side
The
of the
detective.
investigation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so bad with characters.
Holly.
Holly, yeah.
Holly Gibney.
Holly Gibney, that's the one. I want to shout her out for doing something smart. Finally, like every time, like in any fiction where someone is trapped in like one of
I know
those
what you're
like
talking
stations and is like, I'm gonna try and get out of this little window. I always am like, why are you doing that? You know exactly how this is gonna go. She did the smart thing where she used the a part of the toilet, the tank of it, to break the window and then double back. And I was like, yes,
That's so
well
It's a
done,
big risk.
smart.
paid off.
Paid off. And I was like, you did it. That's smart. So yeah,
it's a
good work on her. But yeah, that episode was also incredibly boring.
Yeah, I'm excited to reach the end of it, but now that I've done Altered Carbon, Tam and I are moving on to Westworld.
All right.
So we have like 2 weeks before Westworld Series 3 comes out, so I'm gonna need to rewatch season 1 and 2. Season 2 in particular,
I
because
stopped season 2 after about 3 episodes.
It means you missed Kixia, which is probably the best Westworld episode of all.
Yeah, I basically didn't see any of that. Maybe I should give
Oh,
it a
it's
go
so
again.
good.
Kixia
I
is
couldn't
so
finish season 1.
If people start raving about season 3, I'll double back and give season 2 another go.
Season 2's got an absolutely phenomenal cover of Wu-Tang Clan's Cream.
Yeah,
That
really
is
does.
like, honestly, it is so good.
Also, the Painted Black cover is
Painted Black,
very
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the thing I remember most about that show was all their covers really good. I think the first one had like Paranoid Android
There was
from
about 3
Radiohead.
tracks.
It had exit music from a film, had Fake Plastic Trees.
Just listen to Radiohead.
Yeah.
That's always a good
I
thing
mean,
to do.
that's typically what I do. It's like I see it, I'm like, oh, this is cool, and then I just throw on
Yeah.
OK Computer.
We could have a great night just playing Siege, listening to Radiohead.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah, should we do that?
Let's do that.
I mean,
I'm staying
Friday.
at Jake's now.
And the
not to-
podcast.
Friday, we were gonna play Overwatch here in the office and try and get the Ash skin,
Yeah.
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
We could switch it to a Siege for a little bit as well.
Oh.
You can get
I
Nash skin and
guess.
Siege too.
I
Gotta
mean,
pay.
I've said this about Siege before. I just find the setup a
I
bit
do play on
boring.
PS4 though. So. That's the whole reason I'm over here. So
Yeah.
we were doing a little video
All right,
play now.
relax. You've used your allocated plugs.
I'm not playing. Just saying that's the reason I'm here. I'm not just here for this. I would.
But
yeah.
Should talk about the news.
Yeah. Well, what have I been like?
Yeah.
At least you
Oh,
don't care what I've been doing.
sorry, I did ask, but then I thought Dreams.
I mean,
what
yeah,
else have you been
Dreams Siege.
doing? Dreams and Siege.
Dreams of Siege.
Create Siege and Dreams.
Oh,
See if you can do that.
Oh, that
We should create we should each try and create one Overwatch character in Dreams and
was
then
gonna-
present it.
So before I started playing,
Don't
Dreams,
act like this was your idea for IGN.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, I was
It
going to
wasn't.
do that for IGN.com.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
Well,
bullshit.
you've said it more times than me now. My big idea was like before I found out how hard the sculpting can be and how long it can take. I wanted to make like for some reason my grand design was an Overwatch based chess set with characters. Rather than make Overwatch, turn it into chess.
okay. So
I just want to make the
who's the king?
characters
Who's the
missing.
king queen?
Sorry, it's the queen
Diva.
of
And
the-
no, I would have thought Diva would be the rook,
Yeah.
the
Really?
horse, because she needs.
Yeah.
Oh no,
It's
Arisa.
not-
Arisa.
Arisa's the
Oh
horse.
no, sorry. Rook is the
Castle, like the tower.
yeah.
That's
The horse.
Horse is
Reinhardt.
the knight.
Rook throws
Knight.
down armor.
Yeah.
Is that a Siege show?
Yeah. I play Rook.
But then who has to be the pawns? I was seeing it was just lots of little Tourbillon turrets.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good. I
That's
like
good.
that.
But you'd have Overwatch and Blackwatch have two sides.
That's good.
But that was my idea, and I haven't done it. So there you
See, I'm planning to remake scenes from Demolition Man in Dreams.
Oh, for God's sake.
go. Just explosions.
No, there's some great. Like, I'm starting with the museum set piece.
You should like rewrite it too, though, to like
And
He's already
re-video it.
recut it.
I've already there's
know,
a
but,
version
like,
of that.
change the dialogue to like refer to yourself or something like that.
Demolition Town.
And
Demolition
voice,
Town.
voice every character yourself as well.
Yeah, I mean, I could do that.
Yeah.
I easily do that. I know that.
There's probably enough assets. Someone's probably made like
I'd like
The
to invite
buildings.
you for a meal at
At
Pizza
Pizza
Hut.
Hut, Taco Bell.
Ah.
Simon, what have you been playing?
what have I been playing? Yeah, I've been playing Dreams, Siege, Apex. Nothing really new. I watched a few new films on the flight over.
Oh yeah.
Go on.
yeah.
I watched Rocket Man. I thought it was really, really good. It's the film I wanted Bohemian Rhapsody to be because I didn't really like Bohemian
Or is that
Rhapsody.
not good?
I didn't
Was
like
it
it.
Bohemian Rhapsody?
Ah.
I didn't see it, but I saw that one scene because it got
The one with the best editing.
yeah,
scene.
because it won best editing, and then the scene is a mess, and it's like,
yeah,
oh wow.
Who knows how that happened? But I just because Bohemian Rhapsody, you have such good music, and they do such boring stuff with it.
Yeah.
Every scene, it's just like,
But
here's how
didn't-
this song was written,
But
and it's
didn't
just
Queen
someone.
have the remaining members of Queen had a very heavy hand to play in that?
And
I
that's
feel
why I'm
they
confused because a lot of it is just not what happened, which is like they they act like the band broke up and like refused to play together for years. But I was watching it with my parents and they're like, they act like Live Aid's the big reunion after
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 years. My parents were like, we saw him like 2 months before that. I was like, Yeah, and they use him getting AIDS as the reason the band get together to play Live Aid,
What?
which isn't how it happened.
No.
It's just a bit odd. I know that I just didn't really like it, and like the thing I love about Rocket Man is that it is basically a musical and it has those fancy elements. I know you weren't a fan of all those fancy elements.
I got really annoyed.
Like when he literally turned into a rocket.
I got really annoyed when he turned into a rocket.
But
I'm not gonna lie. I
Wait, he turns into a rocket?
turns
They
into
do
a
like
rocket
fantasy
man.
sections, which I don't mind.
I know, like, really drugged up. It's a musical. I just felt that one in particular was a little on the nose.
Yeah, but
And I was
I prefer if they'd done that with Bohemian Rhapsody rather than pretty much every song is them in a studio going, what if we got the crowd to do this?
But
Boom,
what if
boom,
we got...
boom.
Yeah.
You've got the kid from, whatchamacallit, Jurassic Park, just doing... Jurassic Park, yeah, have you not seen that one?
I love it.
It's a remake from Dreams.
It's a dream make. But yeah, just like sitting in a corner, like they're having an argument and he's just sitting in the corner and you just hear dun 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 on a bass line. And I think Brian May just turns around and goes, do you know what, that's not bad. That's not how they wrote songs, is it? But yeah, I didn't enjoy Bohemian Rhapsody.
I didn't watch it. I told you this when we were talking the other day. I was like, I have to be in a very particular place to listen to Queen because
Really?
I was oversaturated with Queen when I was a kid, and so I think their music is incredible. Respect them a lot. I just have to be in a place.
I do think the last 20 minutes of that film is incredible.
Freddie Mercury, legend, not talked about enough. He's one of ours, isn't it?
British.
Brown. He's an Indian.
I was like, what?
Sorry.
Oh, he's
He's
where's
got
he from?
Indian descent.
Yeah, he does.
You stole him from us, didn't you?
Wow, wait, what did I watch as well?
You watched Rocket Man?
I watched Rocket Man, which I really liked. I watched Ready or Not, which I thought was fine.
I
wanted to
do
really
want
like
to see
it.
that.
I liked Ready or Not. I don't think I wasn't expecting a lot when I saw it, and I enjoyed it. But yeah, I don't know if it's one of those movies that I'd like come back to.
No, I thought it was fine. Watched Detective Pikachu for the first time, which I enjoyed. That was fun.
That
really
twist
good
at the
fun.
end, though.
What's Bill Nighy doing in that film? That's insane. I enjoyed it, but I was like, he's having a great time.
He's in Castlevania.
Yeah,
he's in the
he's
new
in
season.
Castlevania,
Yeah. That's the
Wait,
one I
isn't
always
he-
forget he's in.
Who's he in Castlevania?
He's a new
Oh, the
character, I
game?
think.
Oh, the new
No,
one?
the new season for Netflix. Because I was scrolling through like the cast list and I was like, what's he doing in there?
What's he doing?
Mate.
Anything these days. And I finally watched Isle of Dogs for the first time, which I thought was incredible.
I can't remember who it was, but I was there when someone like realized I love dogs is I love dogs. And they were like,
I literally just realised.
Yeah, I did too. I
my
didn't realize
God.
that either.
what's going on here?
Do you remember when my mum went mental because I hadn't seen I
Love Dogs.
And she sent me this like essay
Diatribe.
about how much I would love it, and that I just was deliberately not going to see it because I wanted to hurt her. I was like, oh, okay.
Did you see it?
No,
You still haven't seen it?
still haven't seen it.
I'd watch
I feel like if
Well,
one of my
I don't
parents
watch
did that, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to see this movie now. It's,
Out of spite.
But it's a good movie.
Yeah, I know. I do want to
It's
see
incredible. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
it.
All right. We made it through with only about a dozen tangents.
I mean, I was gonna say we've been recording for like an hour.
Have we?
That's what we do here.
Dang.
Time
Tangents.
flies.
Yeah.
People love the tangents.
Wait, do we? How long have we been recording?
Tangents only, if it was my way.
Voice of God. Max.
Is it Max? How long have we been recording?
About 52.
54 minutes.
Wow. All right.
Max,
Let's get
Max
moving.
sounded
Yeah.
mad there. Did you hear that? He sounded upset.
We got the
I'm not
Cheesecake
coming back,
Factory.
am I?
They're waiting
Yeah, we're
for
going
us.
to the Cheesecake Factory.
Max wants to get back to Granblue. He's been playing it non-stop.
No, just give me some cheesecake.
I don't know. First one, topics. Platinum announced new game.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this more? I saw the trailer and I was like, I
You
don't
can
know.
talk about this because Platinum Games are one of those games. Good friend Joe Scrabbles loves
Yeah.
a good Platinum game.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually think I've properly tried one.
you play
Bayonetta? You know,
Bayonetta?
play
I've never
Bayonetta?
played Bayonetta.
Oh, mate. Play some
Oh,
I might get
Bayonetta.
that,
the
that
PS4
new
version is
bundle,
very good.
I might get that.
Bayonetta and Vanquish.
I don't know what happened there.
Favorite ice cream, Bayonetta.
Yeah. And Vanquish bundle. That's what they should have called it. The Vanquish bundle. It should have been the Viennetta
Viennetta
bundle.
bundle.
Oh my god. No, the PS4 version is very good.
It's very good, yeah.
Oh, what a bitch.
So-
I love her. She's like the best bitch.
She is, yeah.
She is.
Very much so.
In a costume tight, like a skin tight costume made of hair.
I don't
I'm
think
not
I've-
even kidding. She's a
I don't
witch.
think I've ever finished the platinum game. I did Bayonetta 1, 2. What other platinum games?
Nier.
Yeah, couldn't finish Nier. Wasn't super into it.
I will try the Wonderful
Nier
101.
Automata.
Wonderful
Re-release is
101.
coming out in May. I never played Beautiful.
Legend of Korra, Transformers,
The
Teenage
Oh, the
Mutant
Ninja
Ninja
Turtles
Turtles.
game?
Right, yeah. That was like their period where they were making crappy games in order to make their stick to their
Astral
vision.
Chain?
Astral Chain, yeah.
Astral Chain.
I tried that. couldn't get into
Bayonetta
it.
is the one to start with. Like, it's
Yeah.
real good.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
It is so. Oh, it's so camp. It knows exactly what
Yeah.
it's doing.
It's the Rocket Man of video games.
Yeah, but it's less on the nose, weirdly.
Yeah.
But no, it's like I love the bits in Bayonetta where, because I find her, she's a super sexy character, but
Yeah.
and even though she has these shots where it's literally like up her ass, I don't know, it's just done in such a great tongue in cheek way.
She knows what's
She
going
like,
on.
You can't do that and
No,
then say
I know,
tongue-in-cheek.
I really.
Jeez.
Oh, I'm out. Anyway, Bayonetta,
Yeah, she's fantastic.
fantastic character. I
I'd
love
let
her
her
so
step
much.
on me anytime.
Cool.
Anyway,
Ah.
what's
Wow.
this new project?
So this is
No one knows. Let's move on.
So this is the latest game. It's called Project GG currently.
GG.
Yeah, great game. Project great game.
Oh no, I
Is
was
it
gonna
a
say
diva game?
no. I was gonna say just singing like Girls' Generation.
No, it's Project GG. But it's Kamiya Project.
My
He's
husbando, please.
Yeah, husbando Kamiya.
Thank you.
Pay respects for him. He's so the last game he was in charge of was Scalebound, which
This was a fun game.
rest in
Yeah,
peace,
I love
Scalebound.
Did you not play it?
A few people played it. Yeah, I think I might have actually played it for like a hot minute. Like just control this dragon at Gamescom.
I think I watched you do that.
I can't even remember it. Like it couldn't have been long enough to make an impression. But this is his project. Leading it. It's currently very early in development. 15 people are working
Drop that.
on. Just dropped all the paper. 15 people working on it. And it's the third chapter in what he's calling the Hero Trilogy, which I did not know it was a trilogy at any point. The first being, it doesn't even make sense because the first one is Beautiful Joe, a game that was created while he was at Clover and was under Capcom. The second one is Wonderful 101, which is a platinum game, and now this. So it's like he's like retroactively created this like hero trilogy thing here, clearly. But like they described it as like this is going to be their Ultraman. So people who don't know Ultraman, like Ultraman is an incredibly popular character in Japan. The kind of character, it's from the tokusatsu genre, which is effectively the Power Rangers lineage of stuff and like giant robots and Godzilla style things like that. But so it's incredibly popular. Kids usually watch it, and it's so popular that people usually stay obsessed with it until they're well into their later years in life. You go there, Ultraman's everywhere. And like you go to stores.
Turbo Man from
Arnold Schwarzenegger's
what's it called? Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
Best
Yeah.
Christmas film.
Turbo Man.
Turbo Man.
But yeah, you go and like that's what this game is inspired by. They say like Beautiful Joe was Kamen Rider, which is another popular Japanese kind of entertainment product, while Wonderful 101 is kind of like their squad based thing, which is effectively Power Rangers, also kind of popular in that tokusatsu genre. This is Ultraman, and for them to invoke Ultraman is a pretty big deal for people who know Ultraman or people in Japan, and the trailer actually makes good on that. So you get like this kind of like massive monster coming upon a city, and they do this really clever thing where they get a really cute dog, and it's like stuck and under some like its leash is stuck on a rubble, and it's like not able to get away from this giant monster closing in on it, and looks scared and is whimpering and it's tugging at the heartstrings. And then you have that moment where a mysterious figure jumps in between the monster and the dog, and then you see its eyes light up, and then it just grows in size, and you're like, they absolutely nailed the Ultraman vibe instantly. Like I was like, well up for that now. And the thing that they're talking about is like they've always been a studio about making games feel good. That's what's great about Bayonetta. That's what's great about Vanquish and pretty much any other game they do other than the licensed games, because Korra was awful and So like Ninja Turtles and Transformers are a bit rubbish as well. But they're trying to do more this time. Like they want to go out with a bang on this trilogy. So yeah, it's very early in development, but interesting and really cool. And a lot of fans of Platinum and Kamiya are very glad to see him taking center stage again, and even more excited that Ultraman is the inspiration for it. Might be a while since we see that, but they've got more announcements on the way. And so Atsushi Inaba is the other person who's the other big name from Platinum, and he was part of the announcement. And he said the final game they're really revealing as part of the Platinum 4 is going to be like mind-blowing.
Okami 2.
So what are the three that...
So the first one is Wonderful 101 Remake,
Okay.
which has a release date now. I believe it's March. May.
It's May, yeah.
May.
It's gonna be May. So sorry.
There it is. There it is.
I just hadn't said anything in a while.
That's fine.
Second one is Project GG. The third and fourth one are unknown. They're presumably going to announce the third one's relatively soon.
I reckon it's going to be a near.
It could be a near thing.
And they're new games, right? They're not like... it could be Bayonetta 3, right?
They're making the fourth one is definitely a new IP. That's what they said, unless I'm misremembering it. But I'm pretty sure they said the fourth one is a new IP. The third one's kind of the mystery.
But it wouldn't be Bayonetta 3, right? These are new announcements.
Yeah, Bayonetta 3, as far as we can tell, is separate from that. They do have another game that they're working on, which has got like an incredibly forgettable name. I think it's Babylon's Fall.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Is that for the Square Enix?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was going on last year, wasn't it?
It's got that sort of painterly art style, which I'm not big in.
So I don't think that's included in the Platinum 4.
No.
But it could be that could be the third game.
Platinum 4, that's a good name for a brand.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Should we start it?
let's do it.
Let's rename the podcast the Platinum 4.
Platinum is like, the thing I love about that studio is like, they have so much self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the studio's name is like Platinum Games, and then they have a tagline which is like, Platinum never loses its luster. And you're like, ooh, you guys like yourselves, don't you?
I really like, to bring it back to Bayonetta briefly, is when you play one of the mini games, it says, made by your naughty friends at Platinum Games. Which I really enjoy.
Team Angels.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just an exciting reveal, so we'll see what becomes of it, but I've got a plan, Arthur. I made an Arthur joke the other day. I forgot what.
Oh, it was incredible. I can't remember what it was.
Oh,
Couldn't
no.
have been that
That's
incredible.
also
then.
what I've been playing. I've been replaying Red Dead 2.
Oh,
Have
right.
you?
Yeah, just hit the epilogue.
Dang. I started a second game shortly after, or a new game shortly after it came out. I have not finished it yet.
Yeah. I want to go back.
I was going to hold off for the inevitable like PS5 one, but I just went for it over Christmas.
Just go for it.
That's why that joke is stuck in my head now. I can't remember what it was.
It was
Really frustrating. Anyway, while you think about it, we can talk about the coronavirus.
It's going to be a weird year, huh? Frankly, it's
That'll
like...
also be stuck in your head.
It is, yeah. So just for background, more developers and publishers pulled out of the upcoming trade shows that are coming up at PAX. Cyberpunk devs and PUBG devs drop out due to the virus. For GDC, I think EA pulled out as well as some other ones.
Square have limited their presence at PAX for Final Fantasy 14. I think all those panels are just going to stream them instead.
This is like disappointing for a lot of people, and I can imagine why people are frustrated by it.
I mean, like first hands-on with Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah,
right?
but like
it's hard to be angry when people just don't want to die.
I feel like the perspective that a lot, because I've seen a lot of people getting upset about this online, but at the same time I've seen a lot of people be very reasonable about it. I think it's for anyone who has the impulse to be like, I can't believe this is happening, try and remember that this is to prevent a widespread outbreak of a deadly illness. And like PAX as is a hotbed of gross, like PAX
Every
Pox
convention
is a
is.
thing like that exists. People go there with the expectation that they will get sick, and it's almost a running meme.
The sickest I've ever been was after CES one year that I went, and like I was just in bed for a week and a half, just got hit with the worst flu I've ever had. It was terrible.
And that's because the germs traveling around that thing. Like PAX is public as well. and like you're touching everything, shaking hands, like, and that's without factoring in an actual potentially deadly virus.
Yeah.
So it's disappointing, but
Cool. I mean, it's cool that some of them like Square are streaming their stuff. That's really, because I guess as well, like in terms of the developers, PR, marketing, they've spent time putting all that together. GDC, it's the same kind of thing. Like people spend months putting talks together. I mean, San Francisco's said state of emergency.
Yeah,
that's mostly
you
a
messaged me that yesterday saying you picked a great time for this.
the head of
It's
the
mostly
CDC, absolutely spicy comment from the head of the CDC, not trying to like assuage any sort of like fears and be like, we're doing our best to contain and make sure that we're properly prepared. The quote was like, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God, relax, we did. But yeah, I mean,
I mean, I wonder if it's going to affect. It's already affecting the Outer Wilds worlds. Yeah. God, I thought we left that problem back in 2019.
Yeah.
Outer Worlds Switch port, right? I mean, with new console year, there was a report that Microsoft is gearing up for delays. And they didn't explicitly mention the Xbox, any Xbox consoles, but they were saying that they were worried because obviously factories are closing down in China because it's. The coronavirus is rife there, and so also the reality is that most of the stuff in the world is made in China. So it's gonna be a weird
consoles are gonna get delayed.
I don't know if they'll be. I mean, I don't know if they'll be delayed. I imagine there'll be shortages. I genuinely think there will.
Shortages is like very. There's decent chance that it's going to be shortages, but like delays aren't completely out of the realm of possibility as well.
Did you see on? Well, I mean, this is talk on Twitter, so I take it with a grain of salt, but a lot of people were tweeting that they're like, I wonder if GDC is just going to get straight up canceled because of all these developers playing. I can't imagine it would get canceled, but GDC is going to look very weird this year, I feel like.
They said that there was an addendum to the GDC website where they're not allowing companies, like you can't fly direct from China here, I think they were saying.
Okay.
But if you're a Chinese company who's exhibiting, you have to have your North American representatives present on your behalf. Because obviously, I mean, a friend of ours is coming and he was like, well, I have an Italian passport. Am I even going to get into the country? So
I think like beyond games, like obviously this has become a bit of a thing in Asia as a whole as well. Like the potential impact this could have on the Olympics is what I'm like looking at.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
they've already cancelled. So Ireland are meant to play Italy at rugby this weekend.
I mean, they cancelled Mobile World Congress, which is
if it gets to the
huge.
point where like they need to cancel the Olympics or significantly reduce, that could cripple that country's economy for a bit. Like, because they have sunk a lot of money into that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Brought it down a bit there.
Yeah.
Just wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Don't touch your face. Wear a mask.
Just be clean.
Be clean.
Be clean.
Can we still
be
go
careful.
Cheesecake Factory?
We can. Although I did get a text in the middle of that that Evan, who we're going for his actual birthday,
is
is
not
sick.
Tam's birthday.
So he might not be coming, but we can still go to Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
We can have a birthday party. I mean, it was a joint.
Every day
birthday
is a
party.
birthday.
Every day. I mean, Batman told you that. So it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, the next story is one that we can talk about. Free-to-play Siege.
Yes.
Wow.
Siege is good, isn't it?
If you're listening to the audio version, I just pushed my mic away.
If your ear was just exploded there.
No, because I hit it here. It's fine. Should be all
right.
So yeah, I forget who asked about it.
I think it was PC Gamer.
Yeah, I think it was PC Gamer asked Leroy
Jenkins.
No, Aston.
I took a drink. I was when I said Jenkins.
I've met him before.
I've
his
met
name
him as well. What's his name?
I can't.
Do you want me to Google?
I know how it's spelled, but I don't know how to pronounce it.
I'll Google.
Anyway, in an interview, they asked about free to play, which I think is something that the community's been wondering for a while now because that game is 6 years old, 7 years old almost, or no, 6 years old, about almost 6 years old. 5?
Hang on.
It's a few. Is
this good content?
Yeah.
Leroy Athanasov.
That sounds right.
Something like that. Yeah. But they asked, and it sounds like it's something they've been talking about, but they don't really know how to figure out. There's certain roadblocks they're saying, like smurfing, for example, is one that they were trying to figure out how you do, which
that's a problem in the game now. And it's paid.
That's the thing. They have to combat that in the game before they can even send it free.
I feel like it's heading that way because they only recently added the battle pass, so they've got that source of income that most of those free to play games now have.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like too, right? Like I pay every year for. I pay what is the $30 every year, whatever, for like the season pass or the year pass, so I can get the operators when they come out, and then like I personally don't buy many of the elite skins, but I have friends who buy lots of them.
I will be getting that Tomb Raider one for Ash there that they're releasing in a couple of weeks.
What?
Yeah, it was a Tomb Raider.
They've done a tie-in with Tomb Raider. See,
I thought it was just like they made it inspired by. I didn't realize it was official.
Tomb Raider's getting another tie-in.
Yeah,
Brawlhalla.
Brawlhalla.
I think that was announced today. Maybe.
Yeah.
Ubisoft have done a little tie-in. Get Lara Croft in all of their games. You'll be able to play as Lara Croft in Watch Dogs Legion.
She is British.
She's got a whole story campaign.
It's just everyone calling her Laura. Everyone calling her Laura, and she's like, "Oh, it's Laura."
But yeah, because Ash is my main character anyway, so I'll definitely be buying that. But I won't be able to use double pistols, so what's the point?
Get rid of it.
But yeah, Siege is good, and I will keep playing that game.
Even if it's free.
Even if it's free.
Especially when it's free.
I'm very
I've already
learning.
bought it, so it's not really going to affect me, is it?
I'm very slowly learning how to play, and it usually involves Simon being like, pick this character and do this.
I'm just like, pit rook, put that armor down, and then let me go.
Yeah, leave me alone.
Shut up and let me go.
I've graduated to thinker now. For the I've got
like that's just like if I go down, just get me up.
Yeah, just get me up. I've got some like good kills in that game and like game-winning moments. So I understand. Like it scratches the Counter-Strike age for me more than Overwatch does.
No game gives me that sense of like you're a hero. Even Overwatch doesn't. Like rarely is it you've won the game single-handedly.
Yeah,
whereas
it doesn't.
You can do
Overwatch is
like 1v5 comebacks when it's like everyone on your team is like you're done, and then you just pull it off miraculously.
Overwatch is like that sense of elation that you get from achieving it, whereas like Siege, you get the heart palpitations first, and then you're like, oh, I've done this.
Yeah.
One thing we should play in Overwatch. So I was playing with Sam yesterday, the Mardi Gras event. The experimental mode they have, they've changed. So it's 2-2-2. It's now 3 DPS, 1 tank, 2 heals.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it's so much fun. It's so much quicker. It's so much more fast paced.
Have you seen the Zarya buff?
Yes.
This is the Siege section. You guys have already talked about it.
Sorry.
This is the Siege section.
Yeah. Like I put that Siege clip on Twitter like last week.
Yeah.
Where
I saw that.
With like I got 3 kills in the last 8 seconds, and then you pointed out you can actually hear me just throw my controller down. Like, I think I cut it off because after that I just shout like, I was like, I can't remember. I think I shouted,
I'm on top of the world.
Yeah, you can swear.
Yeah.
I think I just shouted, I fucking cleaned him out.
Rooted him.
I don't swear on Twitter because my dad follows me, and I've never sworn in front of my parents.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm just like, I keep it clean. I hope he doesn't. I'm assuming my dad doesn't listen to this.
I'll send him a link.
I'm gonna go through your followers, find him, and
he's gonna listen now.
Mate, my dad follows me on Twitter, but his username is a weird mix of his name and a bunch of random numbers. But he's also set that for his display name, so I can't search for him. So I know he's there, but I just don't know under what.
I don't think my parents
always feel
think
like
it's me all the time. It's actually
Nick James is watching me.
But yeah, Overwatch is also good.
Yeah.
Is the latest update? Have they added that McCree buff yet? Because I haven't played it in like 2 or 3 weeks. Is that not there yet?
I think it is.
I don't know. I don't play McCree.
Because that ult looks very good.
I don't like the way you're talking about it.
Diva now doesn't take any penalty to movement when she fires her guns, which is ridiculous. Anyway,
this game.
I love how we
I love
just
both those games. Very good games.
turned the Siege section into Overwatch.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, absolutely hate to see it.
Should we move on to listener questions?
Fine.
Lucy, since you're so excited to move on to listener questions, do you want to read the first one?
Whose tome is this? It's like 5.
Oh, wow. This is the David Jaffe question. Okay. Hello. This is from Eric from Lehigh Valley, PA. Is that Philadelphia?
Sounds about
I'm
right.
British. I don't know. I've been listening since the first podcast after hearing you guys on the Giant Bombcast, and it's something I greatly look forward to hearing each week. Normally, I never feel the need to email. This episode, however, is an exception. Talking about last week. More specifically, the reading out of David Jaffe's thoughts on dreams, it gave me some thoughts of my own, all of which are made of disappointment and actual anger.
Wow.
This man, who is what? A pillar of game design? Iconic and legendary game designer David Jaffe says something unbearably out of touch and misses the point on such a fundamental basis it makes you wonder.
It's not the first time.
When was his last game? What was it? Maybe it shouldn't.
Drawn to Death. You hate to see it.
Ease of access to technology that is in turn more intuitive than before has made lines of game/design/criticism/art all the more blurred, pointless, and edging towards irrelevance. How many games do we now have about game design? How many indie games are developed in non-traditional game-making platforms? Not to mention the plethora.
Plethora.
Damn it.
It's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Of music that is out there that is produced by historically non-traditional means. Soundwave, who is a producer for Kendrick
A
Lamar.
Transformer.
No.
Soundwave. No
Sound,
D.
no D.
Who's a
You
producer
never
for
get that
Kendrick
D.
Lamar.
We're making it hard to get through this.
Got radio play with a song he made in MTV Music Generator for the PlayStation. What if he'd been told he couldn't do that? Fuck that. I guarantee you there are countless upon countless similar stories, not to mention the mod scene you all mentioned leading to at least a traditional sense of legitimacy. I understand it is how he feels and he is entitled to that. I'm also entitled to feel that using what platform he has to shut down a means of creation for people, possibly for the first time, is fucked up and wrong. How disconnected and aloof he must be to attempt to negate inspiration and passion of those who are inspired and emotionally involved with tools they use to create. How impactful that is beyond measure. Sorry, this is a bit over-amplified, but it is entirely from the heart. Love the show, Eric from Lehigh Valley.
So for some background, right, David Jaffe posted, I think, to Twitter or
Chat
something.
on dreams.
Yeah, he was basically saying that, like, people aren't going to want this because people don't want to make games. They want to play games. People make games.
We'll make actual games, basically.
Yeah.
Which
Which
is, I mean,
pretty
like,
short-sighted.
It's very much
it's incredibly short-sighted. Yeah, old man yells at cloud. It's not like before we say anything about this doesn't, anything that I say anyway, doesn't come from a place of like disliking David Jaffe or like disrespecting David Jaffe. He's clearly a very talented person. He made it or had a heavy hand in creating some of my favorite games of all time with the God of War series, Twisted Metal as well. But this is fully like, it just reads and sounds like someone who's trying to limit the potential of other people, like and like diminish any opportunities that they had.
If I'm gonna make my cheese, I will.
Yeah.
What baffles me too is like, I feel like every medium has kind of gone through this recently, where it's like, you know, films used to be super hard to make, and then the bar got lower and lower, and then something like YouTube, where people could just make stuff in their free time with easy tools. And sure, it wasn't like professional quality, but that stuff still took off. It's happened with music. It's happened with movies. It's happened with like everything. Yeah. It's like, but for some reason, he's like, no, this can't happen with games. People aren't going to want to make games. They just want to play games.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Like, and I kind of get it in a sense, because it's like, as cool as that making mechanic is and how simple as it seems it is, I'm personally not going to do that. I'm not interested in that. But I still see the value in that. Like, I am, like, it's super exciting scrolling through the Dreamscape or whatever and seeing all these creations that people have made. And it is like, even Mario Maker, which is a little more rigid, or it's a lot more rigid than Dreams, but like, still, a lot of people were saying the same thing, right? It's like, well, I want to play a Nintendo Mario level, not like the meme level someone created. Sorry. But like, even through that, you get so many creative, interesting ideas. And then it's not to mention that, or like, a lot of people start careers off that too, right?
Yeah.
Like, if
like,
I was a kid and Dreams came out, even if I had more time, like, that would probably be a very different story. Then I'd probably be very into that game.
There's actual, and I visited Media Molecule a couple of months back, and there's actual like stories that they told me of, like, someone made a really impressive game in Dreams. It was the first game they'd ever even tried making, and they got in contact with them, and they were like, because they noticed, I think they weren't making anything anymore. And they were like, oh, were you enjoying Dreams? And they're like, yeah, I enjoyed it so much, I've decided to take up Unity and become a game developer. So
that's
you can get that bridge into it. I mean,
it's like, how many people are out there who might have an incredible aptitude for making games, like an innate skill,
Just
but
like
they just
design.
they can't access the tools that they need. Like,
exactly what you're saying. Like, not just making games. Like, how many people are there out there that are incredible at making music, or incredible at making sculpting, or drawing, or making shitty footballs, or cheese, or whatever it may be.
Great cheese. Great. I've seen the cheese.
But like, that's
Great
the thing.
cheese.
Like, to like, in such a sweeping way, just push aside so many different people. Like it could be like, I just want to spend my time honing in on making this one object, and that could lead, or like it's got a comprehensive and like a robust music making kit. Someone might be like, all right, I can't make a game, but I can make this sound that someone else will enjoy.
Or a podcast.
Or a podcast, whatever. And to like fully just like effectively through his comments snatch that away from people and be like, you can't create unless you fold yourself into an existing system. It's wild. Like, he's created AAA blockbuster games. He, more than anyone, should be aware of the incredible demand, stress, the uphill struggle it is to get into a position where you have the ability and also the say to make something that you truly want to make and have it get out there. Like, the hurdles you have to overcome to reach that stage are incredible. So like, when something comes along like this that breaks down those barriers and like is available to everyone for a fee which, you know, for all intents and purposes, for what it is nominal, you should be celebrating that instead of pushing that aside. And like, if he's trying to say like people who want to make genuine things will go and make a real game, yeah, maybe, but like some people just want to express themselves. Like, we saw that video of someone who had recreated Ghost of Tsushima in a trailer. In the only way we realized it was in Dreams is because there was a logo in the corner that said this is created in Dreams. Otherwise it just looked like two different like videos of Ghost of Tsushima from two different stages of development. Like, both were really impressive. Like, maybe that person doesn't want to create a game. Maybe they just want to recreate the trailer from Ghost of Tsushima. And for you to try and strip them of that kind of satisfaction and the kind of like the human enjoyment of creating and like channeling creativity into something just because you want them to function inside of a system that you've been through, or you've diminishing the ability of that person to do that thing because you're standing in front of a gate and you think that everyone should walk through it into the same area that you've been. It's ridiculous. It's fully like old man yells at cloud. Like, grow up.
It's just on a fundamental level. Like, I just don't care what other people do. Just do what you want.
You made your God of War game. You've had your success. Step aside and let other people do what they want. Make your Drawn to Death, whatever it was called. You had that as well. Whatever. Just stop getting in other people's way.
It kind of reminds me of like the I don't know, when was it? I mean, I guess before like maybe the early 2000s when TV really took off and they started making like cinema caliber sort of TV shows. Before that, there was like that, I don't know, that like unspoken sort of like, oh, TV, huh? Like, there's movies and then there's TV.
You were a TV actor. Now you're both, basically.
Yeah. And like, it is exactly that, like the Netflix style of thing. And like YouTube, like you mentioned YouTube before, like I get more entertainment out of YouTube videos than consistently than most like movies and TV shows. Like, it's immediately available.
Maybe someone will make Drawn to Death in Dreams.
Yeah. Right. Maybe someone will make that game and make it better and then send it to David Jaffe and be like, this is how you should have done it. Maybe I'll do that shit. Hold that.
Put all the news on hold. I don't know. Anything to add on that?
No. I'm just very excited for us to get to this next question because we've been sat on it because Tam hasn't been on the podcast for a few weeks and I'm obsessed with this question and I also have like a story.
Go on. Who's going to read it? Is Cardy?
Cardy, do you want to take
the whole point
you can read, can't you? I've heard you've got a great reading voice.
Really?
I'm just setting you up.
Let's hear it.
Okay. This is from Henry from Bristol in the UK. There we go. After hearing Lucy mention shopping at CEX and its somewhat dodgy name for a high street store at least. Do you pronounce it CEX?
Well,
carry on reading, mate.
Carry on reading.
I thought I'd write in to share a few tidbits about my time there. I worked as a sales assistant and hardware tester for a few years, and it was easily the wildest retail experience I've had. First of all, the name. We were told repeatedly to enforce the sex pronunciation, and our managers ran with it as far as they could. We had unprotected sex and protected sex Wi-Fi networks. Our company intranet was called Sex Life, and all the stores got together every year for a weekend of camping, music, and booze at the annual Sex Fest. You're just going to clip these out of me. Yeah. This is how you set me up.
Just send this to IGN. Just you going sex.
You didn't even need me to play Overwatch. You just got me to do it here. Right. It wasn't all fun and games, though. As a store that buys and sells exclusively second-hand media and electronics, we had some utterly horrible things to come over the counter. Highlights included a blood-stained original Xbox.
Wow, I didn't realize Bloodstained was on the
Hey,
original.
hey,
Xbox.
hey. gonna
Hey.
Hey.
Multiple laptops and phones with homemade porn wallpapers. Is it that hard to take those off before you try? Or are you deliberately doing that?
I feel like you're,
Yeah.
you're being a
Give it to
boy,
him, wink.
Yeah. And a TV that was somehow filled with urine.
Hey, you gotta go. You gotta go. I mean,
Yeah.
The smell when we first switched that on will haunt me forever. Did it take switching it on? Does that heat it up? Probably does.
Is that
They,
urine?
they were
Just switch
taking the
on.
piss.
Oh,
Uh,
that's you're in trouble.
That leads me to my question. What are your best or worst secondhand game console stories? Do you have any holy grails that you're hunting for or have found? Have you ever thought
I
you
want that
a
piss
piss-soaked
TV.
Have you ever thought you snagged a bargain only to find out it comes with some unexpected baggage? Love the show.
feel like-
Hope it continues for many years to come.
I feel like we can't beat the piss-filled
Well,
TV.
Yeah.
I was once in Bristol and I took my laptop. No.
So worst thing I ever bought secondhand was from a game store in the UK, and I wanted to play Castlevania Lords of Shadow, a
Great game.
2-disc game, and they only gave me the second disc.
Oh,
Nice.
But so the story I was gonna bring up here, it's not to do with CEX.
It is CEX.
It's CEX.
No one's
It's
calling
computer
it
exchange.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's to do with Granger Games.
Oh,
Granger Games, so it's from my hometown. If it was founded in the Granger Market up in Newcastle
By Hermione.
by Hermione.
That's what I was thinking.
And they were small, local, and then they kind of gradually filtered down the country, and there were a bunch of Granger Games around. And one year, this was back when they used to have the Games Media Awards, which is a whole other kettle of fish that we won't get into. But one year, Granger Games were the main sponsor, and I wasn't there at this particular award ceremony. I just saw the reactions on Twitter and the write-ups the next day. But apparently, people from Granger Games, first of all, there were women in tiny orange bikinis because that company's logo was like lurid orange and green. And there were women in these tiny orange bikinis. There were little people holding silver platters of condoms with Granger Games branding. There was a big orange Humvee.
What
too.
year was
Were you
this?
there?
I wasn't there.
But I've seen the pictures too.
I was very I was invited, and I was like,
No.
I'm gonna pass on this. I can't be
Yeah.
asked.
Oh,
This
and
was 2011,
oh boy, I was
2010?
lucky. It
It's
was
like the Wolf of
yeah.
Wall Street.
Yeah.
It was like,
well,
how quickly can you set your company on fire?
Well, funny you should say that. It was speaking of we were talking about the in-betweeners earlier. The guy Greg Davies, who played the headmaster
teacher,
in that show,
headmaster.
was the compere for the awards that evening, and the people from Granger Games were allegedly just raucous and just screaming at him when he was hosting, and people going up to accept
weird.
awards, and they were like booing them off stage and yelling at them, and
And
so
then not even pronounce sex.
not even no, that's the Granger Market. And actually, Granger Games went. I'm not saying it's related, but they went out of business. I think
Yeah.
last year, the year before.
What a bizarre
I
thing
applied
to
for a
do.
job there about 2 months before that award ceremony, and I never heard back. Dodged
Lucky
a bullet.
escape.
Dodged the bullet, yeah.
But you used to work in retail.
Oh yeah, I worked at Game, which is the equivalent of Game. I guess it's the equivalent of GameStop.
Yeah.
Like
I
it was
always
either
prefer
that.
Game Station.
Game Station was the better of the bunch, but then Game purchased Game Station, and they both became like equally shit. But
And
I
then
worked
they closed
at
down Game Station.
yeah. Then they
pretty much.
closed down Game Station because Game Station had a way better trading policy. So
Exactly,
they were
yes.
like, get rid of that.
And
for
I
starts.
got kind of discounts as well because a guy who worked there used to work at the sweet shop near my house. So yeah, that sounds a lot more dodgy.
When
than
I
a
worked
sushi
at
shop.
Game-
Nice guy.
When I worked at Game, I did some insane nonsense that was probably legally dubious, but like I gave away free stuff whenever like trade-ins were coming. I'd be like, yeah, I'll give you full price for this. Don't worry about that. Because I was like, I remember being done dirty by this company, so I'm gonna do everything I can. But I would process a lot of like traded in secondhand stuff, and whoo boy, the stuff that I saw in my time, I think the most consistent one that I always found, like it was alarmingly frequent, was used condoms in PSP cases. Like-
Just PSP.
Specifically PSP. I think it was the height of it was like
Is there some fetish? There?
I don't know. Like I honestly
A lot of
like
PSP
it was always like So you do this thing where you get the case, you open the case, you pull out the manual and the UMD, and then you just put the UMD into the manual and then like rubber band it. But like occasionally you'd pull out the manual and feel like something's in there. And like the first time I was like, what's this all about? And I carefully opened it, and it was slightly stuck. And then like pulled at it, and it like came apart, and there it was.
You're deliberately doing that as well.
No, I'm not.
No, not you, the person who's giving it.
It weren't
Of course
me.
they're deliberately doing it. It doesn't just like accidentally.
I'll tell you what. It happened. I found it in a Need for Speed case twice. Someone was getting real dirty before playing Need for Speed on
Was it Payback?
PSP. Oh. I think it was Payback. I think it was.
Just couldn't get off without Need for Speed, I guess.
That one, and there was like a couple. FIFA was always the one that like.
Of course.
It is like all the wrong uns in it. It's kind of people who play Need for Speed and FIFA.
What's wrong with FIFA?
I'm kidding. But like that was like it happened a lot, and it was disgusting. And it wasn't just an empty condom. It had future generations of someone's
future generations of wrong uns.
Yeah, wrong uns just in there. Occasionally you'd like feel the squidge.
No.
Then there was a period where people used to there was a period where people got real like malicious with it, where they'd hide razor blades in
Jesus
in like trading stuff.
Wait, so hang on. Had you given them the money at this point? Because surely you get the game and then you open it and make sure everything's all right, and then
I would usually find them when I was processing it out back. So once like they'd trade it all in, like, and like people like the staff at these places are treated like crap.
Yeah.
Like they have so much on them. Like they constantly got people who sit on their ass all day, managers like shouting down their neck about hitting trading, kind of milestones and that kind of business. They just open it, look at the disc, good, move on. And like just chuck it in a basket, and then that gets taken, and then someone processes it. I'm sure standards are better now.
Yeah.
Maybe. But
barely any
like,
of those shops exist.
Yeah. So like no one was checking it back then. They'd look for scratches. Is anything obviously broken? Otherwise, is the case does it open? Is there a game and a manual? But like at a certain point, razor blades became the thing, so that when you opened it, or like you pulled up, like sometimes it would be underneath the disc thing. So like when you go to pick it up, it would cut you. So
what kind of?
It was like I multiple times cut my finger on a razor blade opening, doing pre-owned stuff. That's London, baby. And like thankfully never like. It wasn't infected or anything
You've got
ever.
a plaster there at the moment.
I've got a plaster.
You've been
now.
doing it recently.
I actually hit my hand on a wall earlier. So like that was a thing. Multiple times you'd get like they'd have special editions that came in boxes, like cardboard boxes that were thicker. You'd find needles in there sometimes. Like multiple times I have opened a DS case or a 3DS case and just found a bag of weed in there.
That's a bonus.
That is a bonus. But like you can't keep that one. Like I was like, nah, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. The other thing that people used to do was another razor blade thing. They'd come in. People would, because it was out of Westfields, and it was the one in
Shepherd's
White
Bush?
City, Shepherd's Bush. Yeah. So that was the first one. So I worked in that game.
That's the one that gave me the Castlevania thing.
I probably sold you that.
That'd be weird.
That would be I knew.
We went to university at the same time at the same university, but
and we
never
did the
made,
same
so.
LSTV, Leeds Student TV.
We never
met.
But like people used to come in there. People used to come in there and like they'll do the razor blade thing, but they'd super glue half of it to the ground, so that some staff member would go, "Oh, it's a freaking razor blade on the floor." Go to pick it up, get halfway across, and then obviously the tension would snap it back into place.
God,
I got cut by that. Only once though, because once you get got by it, you're done. And like throughout all of this, numerous injuries, never once like a manager come along and be like, "Are you okay? Do you need some time off? Like we should probably get that checked." It was just like put a plaster on it, get back to work.
Amazing. Well, I don't really think I've got
Yeah, I don't know, I've got nothing.
The question, by the way, is: do you have any game consoles that you want?
Yeah.
Oh, what's your holy grail?
Yeah,
we
holy
talked about
grail.
this briefly last week.
Yeah.
but-
I'm not. I don't really collect games or consoles.
The one thing that I love that I have, the one collectible, is I think I've talked about it before, the Murder of Crows Vigor from Bioshock Infinite.
I have always wanted that diva statue they do that's like
Oh,
600 pounds.
yeah. We saw it when we were at
we've
Blizzard.
both
The Overwatch League.
come dangerously close to getting. You almost got it, and I was like,
Yeah.
no. I had a moment where I was like, yeah, oh no.
No matter
But you
how
were
much
like,
I want
I'm moving. I can have this sent to
can't
me.
justify that much money. That is 2 consoles for a statue.
Yeah, that is true. The one that I really like this is not a holy grail, but I've got the Mass Effect special editions just for sentimental value. But like there's an Assassin's Creed, I think it's for Brotherhood, where you like it comes in a really weird box where you have to open it. Like it's like segmented at the top, and you open it, and then when you do that, it kind of like raises the game out on a little like pedestal almost.
Very
I was
nice.
like, oh, I like this. I'll keep this, and I put other games in there instead.
Just a copy of
Yeah.
Bloodborne.
I've only got like
yeah. Whereas I think it was Splinter Cell Conviction. So anyone who wants to play, anyone who wants to play Assassin's Creed, I think it was Brotherhood, would get a better stealth game.
I've only got like 2 games I've got on my desk as like collectibles. One's Persona 4 from when I went to Japan, so it's the Japanese version. Then the other is NBA 2K19 because I went to an event where you could put your own face on the box. So, so if anyone wants that, that's a high price
That's a
collectible. That
Just trade that in. It's got like condom in it.
imagine giving that into game like
This has got a used
genuinely
condom
is-
in it, but it's got
genuinely is
also
NBA
it's got-
2K19, but it's my face on it.
Can you put yourself in NBA 2K19? like you can build, you know
Face
how
scan it.
you know how
I
in-
think you can do the player
Yeah.
face thing. Yeah,
You've not been hit by the NBA cover curse, though, have you?
Not
Your
yet.
basketball career is still
They never started.
popping. Oh, that's fine.
No.
Fair enough.
What do you say? One more, and then we
Should we
can.
do one more quick one,
One
and then
more
hit the
then.
One more
Cheesecake
quick one?
Factory?
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a joke, but we are actually doing that.
Yeah, it sounds like
I'm
a running
excited.
bit.
Mate, the lemon meringue cheesecake is legit.
I don't really like lemon cake.
Oh.
that was a full partridge. Oh.
But I do love meringue.
Should we do the last one?
Yeah. Should I read it, or do you want to read it?
You read it.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I have been listening since episode 1 and listen in every week.
Wait, that's not the last
Oh, wait,
one.
is that not the last
That's
Wait.
not the last one.
Oh, okay. After Darkers.
Started
My bad.
now.
Start
Well.
finished now.
Hey, After Darkers.
Question mark.
Question mark. Hey, After Darkers. I love the Pokemon stream on Community Fridays. Callie kicked ass. She did. I was wondering if any of you guys stream on your days off for fun. Love the podcast. It makes my day when I have to deliver the post in Manchester, UK. It always rains here. Also, I saw Lucy with red hair on a YouTube video. Is she considering rocking that look again sometime? Thanks. I have actually seen that. If you search for GameSpot now, and click the GameSpot logo, one of the first 3 videos is always the gaming and depression video now.
Oh God.
For me, so it's like Lucy on the front with her red hair
being
going.
sad. Yeah, I got done dirty by that thumbnail.
Yeah, that thumbnail absolutely
Oh.
Back in
done
the
you.
Jinx days.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Oh
it's
yeah,
not.
Jinx days.
That was from Marcus, by the way, in Manchester.
Yeah, Marcus in Manchester, where it always rains.
If we ever thought, well, we kind of talked about it, we would stream, but we would all get
We'd all
fired.
get cancelled.
Yeah.
I mean,
It makes it sound like we're horrible. We're not
No,
horrible.
no,
We
no,
just
no.
say it's
we
We
stream at work every day.
risque.
Sam, Persia streams every day at 11, which is never a good time for me because I have a lot of meetings. It's my life.
Same.
But we are changing to 2 p.m. in the afternoon, Pacific time, which is 10 p.m. UK time. Other time
normally
zones
free.
are available.
Yeah, I
so
can-
if you want
I
to pop
can jump
on.
in, yeah.
This is-
So hopefully that means I can join her more and
Yeah.
stream some games.
This is for like time off outside of work. Do you stream?
No.
I used to.
You did, yeah.
I used to stream a lot back in the
I
day.
just feel like, it's time to just not have to worry about people looking or hearing me. I can just
See,
Because I have a lot of respect for Twitch streamers because you have to be on. You have to be
yeah.
like your best self sort of thing. And sometimes if I've had a really long week at work, I want to go home and be an absolute gremlin for a
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah,
I don't want to
fully
wash my hair.
horizontal.
Fully horizontal. I want to be eating cheesy snacks in my...
Starbucks cheese plate.
I want a Starbucks cheese plate if I'm feeling fancy. I don't... Yeah.
The few times I've tried streaming by myself at home or whatever, like before I was even working here, I found it incredibly difficult to just keep that energy for the full time, especially by yourself, and then I don't know, play well as well. I think I only streamed like Bloodborne and The Witcher a couple times, and I was like, this is just isn't for me, because I was just kind of doing everything trying to get in the games industry. I was like streaming, making videos, writing reviews, and I was like, you know what? I think I should just cut this out and focus on videos and writing and stuff like that. It doesn't really
suit my demeanor. Can you imagine?
Why did you turn to me and go,
demeanor? That's my demeanor.
I did it.
I haven't really got that kind of spunky attitude.
I did it for like Dark Souls was the one I did a lot, but I streamed a bunch back in the day. And honestly, like I've been thinking about it recently, just because like it's kind of, it's a muscle. Like I found it a lot of fun back in the day to like get obsessed, because Dark Souls I streamed after I had played it a few times, so it was like I didn't have to think too hard about playing the game as much as just being fun and entertaining.
Because I feel like if you play a game for the first time and you're on stream, that can go one of two ways, one of which is you and your chat like learning the game together and experiencing it for the first time and it's great, or you're really bad at it, chat starts yelling at you. There's maybe a couple of people in there who are trying to help you out, but they're drowned out.
So like that's the other thing about it. Like you build a community, and like the people that I had, like it wasn't a crazy amount of people. It was maybe like 60, 70 to at max 100 people for like very big moments in Dark Souls. But like everyone was super nice, and like I missed that a lot. And you do get a lot of people. Like I watch like Andy Cortez, I mentioned again. Like he's streaming Bloodborne currently. He streams Apex. He plays Overwatch. He
played Overwatch with us.
Yeah, he played Overwatch with us. And like Jesus Here's Toast does regular Bloodborne stuff, and generally the communities there are super nice. But like recently, since moving here, I've been like thinking about getting back into it, just because like I miss being on streams and playing games and hanging out with people a little more. Well, I mean, we do it at work as well. We do it at work, and we do it all the time. But like
stream all weekend.
But it's just like sometimes I'm like playing Bloodborne alone or playing something alone, and I'm like,
we played Bloodborne together once.
One time, it was very
difficult. How'd that go, Cardy? You still playing?
I beat the
you beat the Cleric Beast, Cleric Beast.
And then for the 5th time I stopped playing Bloodborne.
But like when I'm like single player games, or like when I'm just playing them alone, I'm like, I could have just streamed this and like just had people around chatting and that kind of stuff.
Well, I think if I were to stream, I'd definitely have to, like, I couldn't just jump between games, and I couldn't do like a multiplayer game. Like I'd have to pick a game and like play it from start to finish, obviously not in one sitting, and then probably take a break. Like I do like the idea of like going on that journey with people watching you, but I could never just like like, all right, it's Tuesday, and every Tuesday I just play some Apex with people. Like I couldn't, I don't think I could do that.
I feel like Dreams is an interesting streaming game. If you're creating as well, because you can kind of
one of my memorable streaming moments was I was midway through a Dark Souls boss. I think it was Gwyn, and my cat rolled up, and I had that Xbox with the touchscreen, touch-based power button, and she was just like, bonk. And it just went off, and like everyone in the chat just immediately Fs and like laughing at me. I think someone, Coffee Jesus CJ, if he's watching, like frequently sends me reminders that I biffed it or my cat biffed it. And then like, occasionally I'll get a message being like, hey, are you going to start streaming again?
Hey.
I'm like, yeah, maybe. I think I'm going to build a PC and maybe start streaming again.
Nice.
And play Siege.
Play Siege with you,
Stream some Siege.
You can't stream with Matt in the chat though.
No. Absolutely not.
Anyway, that's episode 30 of GameSpot After Dark. If you want to write in, you can email at us. You can email at us. You can email at us at After Dark. Oh my God. You can email us at afterdarkpodcast@gamespot.com. We read every email. We try to do every email on the show, but today obviously we didn't get to one of them because Cheesecake Factory. You know, that's how it is sometimes. But where can people follow you, Tamor?
I am on Twitter at TamorH. I am on twitch.tv/TamorH.
Very good.
Let's go.
I'm on Twitter at Cardy Simon, like Carly Simon, but not.
I used to be SIM card.
Yeah, SIM card was good.
SIM card 7, but that was like the email address I created when I was like 13. So I thought, isn't it cool because my names can kind of be like a SIM card. But now it's Cardy Simon. Because I prefer Bond to phone devices.
I'm at Lucy James Games.
And you can find me at Jacob Deck. I think that's it. Is there anything else I need to say?
Talk about that's all of it, baby.
Have a lovely time.
I said iPad.
Subscribe, rate us on iTunes. 5 stars only.
5 stars.
All right, we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for watching, listening.
Thank you.